We have a very specific expectation for what a gospel looks like. We look for a story, a baby in a manger, a series of miracles, a trial, and a physical resurrection. That historical narrative has provided the framework for Western religious thought for 2,000 years. Because of this, modern audiences are conditioned to look for a linear account of a Savior's life. We expect a religious text to tell us what happened and when. In this standard framework, salvation rests on a simple requirement. The believer must accept a sequence of external historical events as absolute facts. But in 1945, near the Egyptian desert village of Nag Hammadi, a local man unburied a sealed clay jar from the sand. Inside was a Coptic translation of a text that had been lost since antiquity, the Gospel of Thomas. Translating the manuscript revealed a shocking vacuum. The text contained no miracles, no Roman soldiers, and no crucifixion. The text is simply a list of 114 unvarnished sayings, or logia, from a living teacher named Yeshua. The authors deliberately chose this fragmented structure. By removing the historical story, the text shifts the reader's focus away from the past and toward a different kind of internal inquiry. The text begins by dismantling our concept of where God lives. It mocks the idea of looking to the sky or the sea for salvation, arguing that if the kingdom were in the sky, the birds would get there before you. Instead, these sayings define the kingdom as a spaciousness in consciousness that is spread out upon the earth right now, rather than a future destination. We fail to see this presence because we are psychologically asleep, drifting through a state the text compares to intoxication. By defining heaven as a present state of mind, the Gospel of Thomas places the burden of salvation on the individual. You are required to wake up in this moment rather than wait for the next life. This awakening requires a struggle to dismantle the ego. The text represents this internal pressure as a lion, a force of mental agitations and memories that devours our attention. The goal of this work is a state the Syrian mystics called ihadia, or singleness. Ihadia is the process of uniting the fragmented parts of the self, the spirit, mind, and body, into one cohesive entity. While traditional dogma focuses on the worship of an external deity, these sayings position Jesus as a mirror reflecting the seeker's own potential. In Logion 108, the text promises that those who drink from his mouth will become like him. It claims the reader's true self and Christ self are made of the same uncreated light. The text provides a blueprint for the reader to realize that they are not just followers of a Savior, but his twin. If a person realizes they are made of the same uncreated divine light as the Master, the concept of physical mortality loses its power. This leads to the foundational claim of the entire gospel. Whoever lives the interpretation of these words will no longer taste death. In this framework, physical death is seen as a transition, not an end. The core, awakened spirit remains deathless regardless of what happens to the body. This focus on direct, personal experience puts the text in direct conflict with the rigid institutional rules that would define later Christianity. The Gospel of Thomas functions as an active initiation. It demands us to abandon the search for external idols and undertake the disruptive quest to find the light within our own minds.